Hi, John Dwyer here with the final module of our training series. This is module number 12 of the WOW Manifesto Client Attraction Program, and this is the biggie. I've said that before. I think I said that on module 4, module 5, module 8 and 9, but this is even bigger than them, all right? Because what this is all about how to create your marketing plan. So it's fabulous that you've been with me throughout this journey. Gosh, I sound like a preacher, don't I? I sound like Anthony Robbins. It's funny, you know, at my seminars I always quote to people that unlike Anthony Robbins seminars where there's a whole lot of back massaging and hugging and a lot of conga lines and stuff, we don't have any hugging at our conferences and our seminars. Normally I have people volunteer, stupidly by the way, to come up on stage and I give them a hot seat, and then I bring their website up on the big screen in front of everyone else in the audience, and I normally criticise it pretty severely. So there is a lot of crying at our seminars, but not for the same reason as Anthony Robbins. Anyway, let me just get on with module number 12, and that's all about creating a marketing plan. Pretty important now that you've seen the other 11 modules of what your marketing plan should contain and how you go about designing a proper website and how you go about having a wow factor, how you go about using social media and so on and so forth. How do you put it into a plan? Well, the very first thing that you need to consider is how much money do I want to devote to this marketing stuff? And I know that it could very well be that you haven't ever put together a marketing budget before. It's quite likely. Again, at a lot of my events I will say to everyone in the room, and it could be 100 business owners in the room, how many of you guys would recognize that marketing and sales is the most important thing in business? Because if you don't make a sale, you've got no business. Well, 100 out of 100 put their hand up. And then I say, okay, well, who's got an accountant? Everyone puts their hand up. Who's got a lawyer? Everyone puts their hand up. Who's got a cleaner that comes into their office maybe once a week? And about 2/3 of the room put their hand up. And I said, well, 30 seconds ago you told me that having sales or marketing skills was the most important thing in business, because without a sale, you know, you've got no business. Who has anyone advising them on marketing or sales? And everyone's there with their arms folded. You could hear a pin drop. Basically, yeah, nobody, hardly anyone, actually has anyone advising them on marketing or sales. And that's why you should give yourself a bit of a pat on the back, because you've chosen to invest in this program, and hopefully you've got a lot of benefit out of it so that you can go off and put together this marketing plan. But if you haven't put together one before, you probably don't know where to start with regards to a budget. And I don't have the magic answer for you, because obviously at this point I'm on the other side of a video camera, so therefore I don't know specifically what your business is. And you know, budgets can be quite different from one industry or one business type to another. But what you might like to do is to say, look, I tell you what, I understand all this stuff, JD. I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to follow the 11 modules that you've given me, and I'm going to give this a real shot. What we might do is not put together an annual budget. We'll just put together maybe a quarterly budget. So over the next 3 months, we're going to, you know, put aside $6,000, $10,000, $24,000, $50,000, whatever it is that suits, you know, your business. And you say, look, we're going to test and measure throughout this quarter all of the things, or maybe not all of them, but certainly a whole bunch of the things that you've been advocating, JD, and we're going to see which ones work. And when we find out which ones work, we're going to put our foot on the accelerator, and we'll just spend more money on that. So if we find, for argument's sake, that our Instagram campaigns are working better than our direct mail campaigns, or our paper, or our search engine optimization investment, our Google AdWords, or whatever it may be, then we'll put more money into Instagram, and we'll just put our foot on that accelerator. So don't be frightened to just consider that you'll suck and see, okay? That you will test and fix, you'll test and measure. But let me just go through the sorts of things that you should consider when you're putting together a marketing plan. Okay, consider your budget, whether it's monthly or quarterly or annually. Obviously be flexible with what I've just said, you know, test and fix mentality. Clearly identify right up front though, when you're putting your marketing plan together, who your most profitable target audience is. And that's the big mistake that I find a lot of businesses make. And that is they go off and decide, oh, we're going to put billboards, and we're going to actually advertise on radio, and we're going to do this pay-per-click advertising on Facebook, and we're going to do these, you know, direct mail campaigns, EDMs, all this sort of stuff. And they haven't yet determined who their most profitable target audience is. I've got to tell you that when I got involved with the Greater Building Society many years ago, the bank that I got Seinfeld to do the, you know, sort of advertising for, I said to them, who's your target audience for your home loans? And they just said, well, anyone that's getting married or has a relationship that wants to build a home or buy a home. And I went, that's a pretty broad audience. And they said, well, what have you got to say about that? Well, aside from me wanting to call them dickheads, okay, which I didn't really feel comfortable doing in that first month, I said to them, who's your most profitable customer? And they went, well, they're all the same profit. Doesn't matter. And I said, no, what age group? They went, well, they're no different. So 28-year-old versus a 40. I said, no. Yes, there is. You don't want any Gen Y or millennials getting home loans from you. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't, but I was trying to get the message across to shock them. And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, a millennial couple might get a home loan from you, but because they don't have a lot of loyalty, millennials, they're the Groupon generation, okay? Every chance in the world that when they get a home loan from you and they see a cheaper interest rate by 0.1%, they'll jump to another bank. So therefore their loyalty is not as strong as someone who might be 40 plus. And the second thing is they're going to borrow for a little 3-bedroom project home. So they might borrow $250,000 or $350,000. What you want to look for are people who are buying their second or their third or fourth home. They're going to borrow $500,000 or $750,000 or $1 million or $2 million. So for every one of those, you'd have to get 2 or 3 millennial home loans. Then the light bulb came on. They went, wow, of course. I said, so therefore in all your advertising, you want to make sure that you are targeting predominantly the over 40s. And they did, and of course they reaped the rewards for that. That's why we chose Seinfeld to be the spokesperson in the final few years that I was doing the marketing. We chose him rather than Justin Bieber because he appealed predominantly to people over 40 years of age. Now, Seinfeld's loved worldwide by all sorts of ages, I know that, but predominantly, you know, he has a big following of people who knew his show all those years ago, so they're going to be most likely 40 plus. Whereas if you've got Justin Bieber or someone from American Idol to be the, you know, spokesperson for the business, they would actually have a niche audience. It's called message to market match. So please clearly identify who your most profitable target audience is before you start putting together your marketing plan. And you also need to determine what the likely communication channels will be for that target audience. And as I've said to you in one or two of the other modules as we've gone through this, 12-week program, if you're after seniors who are interested in going on a hosted holiday tour, then chances are you're going to be placing your advertisements in a magazine or newspaper that is bought and digested by seniors. Or you're going to do likewise on the appropriate websites. If you're selling tools that suit a handyman, then chances are you're going to be in the Handyman magazine, or you're going to be taking out a TV ad in the home improvements lifestyle TV program on one of the pay TV networks, or you're going to be taking out advertising or editorial on some home improvement or handyman online websites. So it's all about, again, message to market match. Look for which communication channels your audience will most likely be digesting. Okay. Okay, then you create campaigns where you develop a wow factor, a problem solution scenario, a time or quantity sensitive offer, sales driven website, da. So let me just explain that to you. When you are putting your campaign together, just simply look at the first 11 modules, particularly those that are 2 through to 11 that I've given you in this program. Module number 1, as you know, was all about basically doing this, clearly identifying your most profitable target audience and then looking for more people who look like them. And that's really, really much easier these days, courtesy of lookalike audiences with, Facebook and Instagram. So if you're putting that plan together, it's really simple. You'd have, one column, date, month number 1, month number 2, month number 3. The next column would be media channel, okay? What is the likely media channel? And that would be letterbox brochure, direct mail, it would be Facebook, it would be Instagram, it would be SEO. And then next to that, you would probably have creative, and what are we going to say? In other words, here's the problem solution for each one of those. And the next column, the fourth one, might very well be cost. What are you going to spend on each one of those? And I hope that you take the learnings from this and, really benefit from them by actually stimulating sales for your business. Thank you very much for being involved. Hopefully, talk to you soon.